What's up, y'all? Your eyes and ears don't lie. I'm back at you, talking about this straight foolishness and sham of a president we got. Because they're so, the Republicans and the GOP and MAGA, so fiscally responsible. I had to pop back on for a quick one real quick because this fool has allotted like 300 million in the big beautiful bullshit so that basically he could play golf. They listed it as travel and all that, but this is so this orange-faced gremlin can go play golf. And I don't know if people really grasp the fact that this dude has golfed 40 times out of 157 days. And every time he goes and plays golf, on average, it costs around $3.4 million. So that's about fiscal responsibility, right? This dude is a fucking crook in every which way of the word. We're looking at, let me throw some numbers out at you. That his first term from 2017 to 21, he spent $151 million golfing. And that's based on travel, security, and logistics. Because everywhere he goes, you got to shut down shit. So that was $151.5 million. And let's not forget, COVID was during that too. Because he don't care about no damn body, so it didn't stop his travel trips. And his second term so far, and this is probably a week old, maybe two. He spent so far $51.5 million, or excuse me, 51.8. So if you just round up by that, you're 6 months in and you spent 51.8, so we'll say 52 million. So if we go on 6 month blocks, you're gonna spend over 400 million golfing on taxpayers. You loser. You diaper wearing, catheter having, makeup wearing gremlin. You're gonna cost the taxpayers over $400 million because I don't imagine the cost is gonna go down. And not only is that just ridiculous, you're profiting directly off the taxpayers paying for your leisure and entertainment because they only stay at his raggedy ass resorts and golf courses that have roaches and shit and fail county health department food inspections at his restaurants and stuff. So you go there, you charge the Secret Service double and triple the market rate for your places on the taxpayers, which results in you profiting off these trips. So you get a free trip and you get the money. Outrageous. And because your wife hates you, you got to pay for separate Secret Service detail where she lives. And from what I was reading is that she has the penthouse in New York, of course, but the Secret Service had to rent out the whole floor below it for security reasons, so that there's a buffer of a floor between her and anyone else. So penthouse, all the units on the bottom, the floor directly below the penthouse, they had to rent out to assure her safety. Taxpayers paying for that. When have you just had a first lady that permanently didn't live with this clown? She can't stand this dude. And we already remember from the first time around where she stayed in a different wing, didn't even sleep with him. Because she already did her dirt. He got your citizenship for you, and you got to be reasonably present or he'll threaten to deport you, because that's what he did the first time around. When she refused to come to the White House, he took that as a slight and threatened to deport her parents and her if she didn't come. But what she did, since she's a business lady in every sense, not an Einstein visa holder for legitimate reasons, but a business lady, since it's all transactional, she decided, I'm gonna take this opportunity to force him into changing the prenup and Barron's inheritance. Because before that presidency, Barron wasn't gonna get what the rest of them got. He was gonna get the smallest portion of Trump's money, and she leveraged that to change his inheritance, to make him equally a partner in the inheritance, which he wasn't up until that point. So he basically had to, again, pay her or make a financial agreement to get her to the White House the first time. And now, since she just despises him so much more, she only show up when she absolutely has to. And even some of the stuff that she should be at, she don't come. Last time I seen that woman happy was when she was dancing with that Marine at one of the balls they had last year, or the first time around, I'm not sure. And actually, she was happy there dancing with him, had a smile. And then I'm thinking about when she was out there with the Canadian president, where she danced with him, gave him a kiss on the cheek. She never smiled like that ever in the presence of Donald Trump. So I don't think she's as bad as some people think, in the sense where I don't know, let me scratch that. To put up with him and be about that shit, because she's a piece of shit too, though, really. Because as I was about to try to give her somewhat of a pass for having to deal with a person that horrible, I'm remembering some of her actions and activities that she's been a part of, with the clothing that she has on, with the I don't care stuff, and some of the things that she's been a part of, which is ironic because you got the yin and the yang, where you evil as hell, but then you also got a part of you that, I don't know if it's you go against what he says just because you hate him, or you really feel that way in some situations. Because I read the recent thing where she visited a hospital and talked to the kids and said she was giving them all this kind of stuff, and she asked them about who they like for music, and they said they loved a few different artists. They said Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, and she had a positive response in relation to Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish and everything. So you didn't throw the hate out there that he does, but then it's kind of like, what would you say? You at a hospital and you know how to play the game. You've always been an actor in this game. You know, she's always been someone she's an opportunist who, by all accounts, should have been deported because you were here illegally working modeling gigs before, and not no real modeling gigs, but it is what it is. But it's only relevant again because the way they're tackling immigration, the denaturalization of citizens now, if you just don't like them. Your claims that you're going to deport Elon Musk, okay, well, anyone who lied on their visa application, it's automatically disqualifying to where you can't get one and you have to leave for 10 years, I believe it is. So Musk lied. He did the same thing that she was doing, except at least he had a student visa. I don't know, I think she was on a tourist one or whatever, but she was clearly working, which is a violation. He was over here on a student visa, and you were creating companies and selling companies, which you weren't able to do based on the type of visa you had. But it's that selective enforcement again that it's always went on and always will go on. But I gotta call it out. Just like I said, you know, I ain't anti anything except anti bullshit. And if speaking the truth is anti-American, then something's wrong with you. You should want to hear the truth. Just like I tell my daughter, your real friends should be able to tell you the truth even if you ain't gonna like it. Because those are your real friends. If they see you fucking up, they should be able to care about you enough to tell you the truth so you can get right. I got a lot of associates and people I know. Then I got my friends. Friends supposed to be people that are dependable, that you can trust and rely on. Associates are just a bunch of people you know, that you may not have beef with and all that, but they ain't on that level.